Well, Aaron had mentioned that you wanted to read a little bit of poetry that you had written.
Okay, I'm going to read from the Tao of 9/11, and there's quite a bit in here about 9/11, but I'm going to skip those parts. At the first emperor's tomb, the Chinese People's Republic shows you a preliminary movie in which this monument of empire is seen through the eyes of peasants who rose up in rebellion and smashed the terracotta statues we have come so far to see. I tried asking whether the government is more in favor of the tomb or of its being smashed. The guide answered, "Both. We think the Tao of history contains both the bright yang of order and the dark yin of revolt." So I said, "Would that mean right now the yin is the Falun Gong?" A short silence. Then, "You must understand that in China there are some things we do not think about." I know why I'm remembering this. There are things we don't think about in America. Things I don't want to think about myself, like the flood of emails from Russians whom I have never met about Far West, a meta group almost unknown and yet so powerful it is said to manipulate states for the ends of the drug traffic, spreading violence in an organized route from Afghanistan and Kosovo to New York. Just as Al McCoy and myself both promptly forgot about the vet who refused to talk to us after they firebombed his Jag, not wanting to face what it means that you can sell drugs in a DEA sting and still be released when you tell them you are a CIA informant. Two kinds of businesses, those which flourish from peace and the strengthening of law, and those which require the opposite, zones of incessant chaos like Chechnya, Colombia, Afghanistan, where drugs can be grown or trafficked under the watch of PMCs, that's private military companies. Increasing income disparities, the sign our state is declining. The homeless we no longer support and have grown used to not thinking about as we step across them towards our ATMs. What Sallust and Arnold discerned in Rome and Victorian London, privatim opulentia, publicae egestas, wealth for the private and poverty for the public, until the republic is suborned by those forces we cannot see, for which the intellectual price is a shrinkage of our culture towards the trivialities of narcotic distractions and undecipherable poets, and expansion of empire with help from Al-Qaeda, until now there are American troops from Kyrgyzstan to Kosovo. The American dilemma. To heal this world, we must become intimate with it, but the search for political truth will lead one deeper and deeper into falsehood, so we all end up like the good Germans, not thinking about who caused the Reichstag fire, or the hundreds of people we do not know taken off to secret camps or distant countries. Uncertain as always whether this republic is past saving, or whether some of us still tread the perilous path of the future, part of me just meditates on the new and more flourishing wildlife that is improving Point Reyes 10 years after the great Mount Vision fire. From the glories of the Tang dynasty I recall only one date, the year the usurper An Lushan drove both Wang Wei and Du Fu far from the corrupt court into the mountains, where for the first time they were free to write the only poems we remember.